Hello everyone. In this video, we will be discussing about Kubernetes deployments. Imagine that you have deployed an application in Kubernetes and everything is working very fine. But all in a sudden, one of your pods crashes. Or let's say you need to update your app without taking it offline. That's where the deployment comes in. In Kubernetes, deployment is the controller that manages your application pods and ensures that the pods are running the way we have declared. It handles replica management, rolling updates, rollbacks. So all this will help you update your app without downtime and recover quickly if something fails. So think of it like your application's autopilot. You define what should run and Kubernetes continuously keeps it running. Now let's see how to create a deployment. So to create a deployment in an imperative way, we can use kubectl create deployment command. So here, using this command, it will be creating a deployment with name Nginx, which will be having pods of Nginx. And if you see, we have an option to specify the replicas, which says replicas is 2. Now let's quickly go to terminal and run the command. kubectl create deployment Nginx image. Okay, give Nginx 1.27 Alpine, and this is the main thing, setting up replicas. This is not mandatory, but if we specify 2, it will create 2 pods for this deployment. Okay, now let me see kubectl get pods, and you can see the 2 pods of Nginx running. To get the deployments, we can simply run kubectl get deployments. Yes, you can see the deployments here, Nginx, which has 2 pods running. If you don't specify replicas, it will just create a single pod. Yeah, and as we know, these are controlled by replica sets. So let's try to list out the replica sets also. So for that, if I do kubectl get rs for replica set, you can see the replica set being created. Let's do kubectl describe pod. Yeah. So here we can see it is controlled by replica set, which is nginx hyphen this name. Right. Now let's see how to scale the deployment. So for that, we can use the command kubectl scale deployment and then deployment name, which was nginx. And then we have to specify the replicas. So currently it is 2 pods. Now let me make it 5. You can see the output here. Nginx has been scaled. Now let me do kubectl get pods again. Yeah, you can see 3 new pods are running now. Next, we are going to see how to do a rolling update. So for that, let me describe the pod again and check the image version. So it is Nginx 1.27. So let's try updating the image version to 27.1. Okay. So for that, I'll do kubectl set command, set image. So I'm going to update the deployment slash the deployment name is Nginx, and the image will be Nginx 1.27.1 hyphen Alpine. Okay, so we can see the message here, image updated. Now let's see the rollout status. For that, we can use the kubectl rollout command. rollout status of the deployment again, slash nginx, and which says it has been successfully rolled out. Let's do kubectl get pods. Yeah, we can see the age of this pod, which is just seconds. So these has been recreated. These are the new pods which came in. So for that, if you want, you can compare it with the pods which we already had. Yeah, let's leave it for now and do a describe again on one of the pods. And if you see here, we have updated the nginx image to 1.27.1. So that's how we can do the rolling update. Now, what if we want to do a rollback? Yeah. So for that, what we have to first do is we can check the rollout status. So for that, we can use kubectl rollout, uh, not status, sorry, history, and then deployment name. Yeah. So here we can see the revision. Now, the point is how to do the rollout. So for that, we can use the command kubectl rollout undo command, which will do the rollout for nginx. And here we have to set the version, or not the version, the revision actually. Yeah, it's ideally the version. So this is the current revision. Let's set it to revision 1. So make it revision 1. Done. And let me see get pods. And you can see the old pods are terminating and the new ones are here. Yeah. Let me describe the one of the pods again. Describe. And you can see it's back to nginx 1.27. So that's how we do the rolling update and rollback of deployments. Now let's see how we can create a deployment declaratively. So for that, we can use a YAML file, which is a Kubernetes manifest file. This is a simple deployment YAML looks like. So here we have the API version, kind as deployment, then the normal metadata where we can have the labels and name. So this is Nginx in our case. And if you see on the spec, we have replicas, which says 3 pods to be created. And then we have some match labels. Based on that, the pods will be assigned to a deployment. And if I scroll down or come down, we have another spec here where we specify the containers. The first spec is actually the pod spec, and the second spec is the container spec. So in the pod spec, the main thing to note is replicas is 3, and in the container spec, we have it as, I'm sorry, in the container spec, we have the container details, which is Nginx. That will be the name of the container. Then image will be 1.27. Let me go straight to the Kubernetes documentation page. So yeah, here we have the workload management section, where the first one is deployments. And here there is a sample, a YAML file to deploy Nginx. There are a couple of changes here. If you notice, the name is Nginx deployment, then yeah, the image is a different one, but that's okay for the demo. Let's quickly copy this. We'll go to the terminal. We'll create a file called nginx deployment.yaml. Yeah, you save it. Now I'll do a kubectl apply -f, the file name. Yeah, you can see the deployment has been created. Let's do a kubectl get pods and see. Yeah, so these are the latest one, three pods are here, and we can see the name of the pod which starts with Nginx deployment. That was the one which we created. Now let's do a kubectl describe pods command. Yeah. Here you can see it's controlled by a replica set again. Then we have the image 1.14.2. So that's it for now. To summarize, deployments give you reliable, versioned, and self-healing workloads. Thank you. See you in the next one.